Hello everybody, welcome to the Red Devil Experience. My name is Eric. Hope everybody is doing well. We got the latest Manchester United updates, quite a lot of updates. It's the day before the Europa League final. As we all know, we're gearing up for that. We got team news, couple players back from injury, thankfully, thank God. So we're going to get into that. We're going to give you the full squad. Viktor Gyokeres to Manchester United is reportedly on. Apparently we're the first club to actually make some type of a concrete move. We're going to get into that as well. And we got lots of updates. There's updates about Alvaro. There's a small update about Cunha, not much, but just a little bit tidbit. Martinez potentially by in there. Wharton, Man United potentially hitting 100 million jackpot, or is it? Because apparently there's some news about the debt as well, which isn't positive, but yeah. But other than that, let's get straight into it. Please make sure you smash the like button before we do, because it helps the channel grow. And we're trying to get to 3,000 subscribers. We're on the road. We're at 2,955. That is not updated yet. So if you enjoy the content, make sure you like, but also subscribe and hit the notification bell icon so you don't miss a live. We also have a Discord. We will be dropping the link to the Discord in the chat and after the show as well, and it's also in the channel description. So if you want to join the Discord, you have many ways to find it, and we'll make it as accessible as possible. But other than that, Lyle's here as well. Shout out Lyle, how you doing, buddy? We got a lot to get to today, so let's kick things off with what we spoke about yesterday, pretty much towards the end. A lot of talk about Alvaro. Many people still want Alvaro back. I mean, I would take him back, of course, but it's not going to happen. It's already been stated that it's not going to happen. So this is where we currently find ourselves at. Apparently, there was a little bit of a discrepancy yesterday because there was a report somewhere, and now I can't seem to find it. So it seems like the aggregators must have deleted it or something. Maybe it wasn't credible. But I saw it 2-3 days ago, and they said that United and Real Madrid were working together, and that United were going to buy Alvaro back and then sell him to Real Madrid so that they don't have to pay the £42 million release clause, and they could get him for cheaper, but United would still profit, and it's a win-win for both clubs. I searched for that today. Can't find it. Don't know what happened to it. So it seems like wherever that story came from was probably BS, and they probably deleted the whole thing. So this is what is the story is now, is that Real Madrid are going to go and pay the £42 million release clause. Manchester United have a 40% to 50% of future sale, meaning that when Real Madrid go and do this, United will receive between 16.8 million and 20 million if Real Madrid do it, but it is indicating and it is leaning that it seems like that it is going to go that way. I see lots of people in the chat getting in here. Shout out to you guys. Jam42 is in here, says hi, how you doing, buddy? Says doing Man City watch along. Not today, we're doing the news for United, but yeah, no watch along on this channel. We're gonna do the United news. We're gonna have United discussion. We're gonna do a United preview for the Europa League versus Tottenham as well. So yeah, sorry about that. No, you know, not doing that today. Although, you know, we'll keep the score updated and stuff like that, but there's no real focus on City. You know, we're a United channel, but you know, we'll drop some updates as we go along while we're live. So that's the very least that we can do. But back to Alvaro. The update that comes back into this is that Alvaro Fernandez, or I like to call him Alvaro Fernandez, to Real Madrid is on hold due to United's buyback clause and their UEL final. They'll ask for some sort of compensation, but the deal should still happen. So this update tagged on to the other one, but this update confused quite a lot of people I seen, because people were like, what, we have a 40% to 50% sell-on clause, so why would we be asking for some sort of compensation? I don't really know the direct answer to that in terms of why we're going to get some sort of a compensation. But from my understanding is that this is added on extra to the 40 to 50% that we're going to get back. So I don't know why we would get compensation. I mean, they didn't tell us. They didn't specify as to why. I can't think of a reason why, unless there's something in the contract that he signed at Benfica that's extra, or I mean, the only thing that I can think of is that we buy him and then we sell him to Madrid, and then maybe we get extra compensation from that. But that kind of flies into the face of the other updates. So we got to wait and see for the the details to come even further. But I expect this kid to go to Real Madrid. I'm still upset about this because I like this kid. We should have never got rid of him. We should have never sold him. He never got a proper chance. Ten Hag. Again, I don't want to go down this whole path of going on a Ten Hag thing with people going, 72 years on to Eric Ten Hag. But Ten Hag, prioritized, got Malacia, didn't give him a chance. There was a couple other players that they really couldn't get chances. Players like Amad Diallo was one, for example, but there was quite a couple other ones. And we ended up selling him. At the very least, I mean, we're making some decent money. But I mean, the fact that, he went from United to Benfica, he's been there for a season, and now that he's going to go to Real Madrid, I mean, it tells you the player that we had in our hands. And, to be blunt, we fucked this up. We fucked this up. This guy should be in our club. We shouldn't have let him go. I mean, he is a really good talent. It's unfortunate that things happen the way it happens. It happens sometimes. It does. But with United's track record of making mistakes, it's something that we really can't be doing. So, JM42 says he won't come back. No, he won't come back. I mean, his agent made it pretty clear, the other day when he made a statement and he talked, publicly and said that, well, he called out the story that United were going to buy him back and sell him to Madrid. He called that out, said that was a load of rubbish. He said that was a load of bullshit, and that he has no plans on going back to England at all. So, I don't expect him to come back. I think one of the reasons why United won't even try to consider the buyback clause is because it makes no sense. I mean, if the guy doesn't want to come back and he doesn't want to be at Manchester United, and I don't really blame him because, he was here. We had the opportunity to give him a pathway. And we threw him away. So, it's kind of like the girl that you like, and she doesn't like you, and then you go find somebody else, and then 4 months later she comes to you and she's like, "Oh, I like you," and it's like, well, you had your chance, you blew it, and now too bad, So, like, I mean, like, I don't really blame the kid. He was there. We didn't give him a fair shot. Not even in preseason we give him a fair shot. It's unfortunate. I really like him. I think he's a good talent. He's probably going to go to Madrid, and he's probably going to have a good career. So, we messed this one up big time. We messed this one up big time. Lumen says, once again, we are going for former players of our manager. Well, I think a couple. Not totally, though. Not totally. I mean, there's a couple players. I mean, listen, I think Viktor Gyokeres is quite different than a lot of the players that we got under Eric Ten Hag. And I mean, a lot of the other players. I mean, Cunha is not a former player of Amorim, and a couple of the other players that we're linked to as well. They're not former players of Amorim. Viktor Gyokeres, while he is a former player, I mean, he is probably, top one or two of the elite strikers in the world right now. I mean, the goal scoring record by itself but I mean, the skill, the ability he has, the physicality, and we're not the only ones in for this guy as well. I mean, Arsenal are looking at him. There's been a little bit of murmurs for Liverpool, but I don't know about that. And then, Chelsea might be in the mix as well. So, do you watch Molde, maybe? No, I don't watch Molde. Where are you from, JM42? Do you not think Man United get Viktor Yokarez? I do. We have updates on that, and we'll get to that. I do. Viktor Yokarez is my number one target. He's my number one option. We should 100% be in the race for him. We should 100% be going in for him. He should be our number one target. Now, that's not to mean that we shouldn't be working on other deals. Because, again, United in the past put all their eggs in one basket. Instant example, Jadon Sancho. We chased him for 2 summers. We had no backup option. We had no, no other options. It was Sancho and nothing, which didn't work out well in our favor. I mean, the negotiation didn't work out well because it was the only player we wanted. We didn't have power in that. We paid a high fee. We didn't get a player in that position that we needed for a whole season. We got him the next season, so we shouldn't be doing that. Steph is here as well. Shout out, Steph. How you doing, Steph? Steph says fans have their favorites. Looks like managers do too. Well, of course, managers have their favorites because managers have they have their ideal. I mean, clearly Mason Mount is a favorite of Ruben Amorim. Now, Ruben Amorim and Mason Mount have never worked together, but clearly he likes Mount's abilities. He likes what he has to offer, and he likes the appeal of how he looks and what he needs for his system in that certain position. So he believes that Mount has exactly what he wants from a player in that position. So Mount is a favorite. I mean, of course, managers have favorites, but it's also, it's not about having favorites, but it's about sort of being fair at the same time. I mean, you can have a favorite, but listen, if your favorite is crap, performing crap for you for months or weeks, at some point you gotta be fair to the squad, and you gotta drop him out and maybe put somebody else in and give them a chance. So it's not necessarily about having favorites, but it's about keeping the balance and the ecosystem. Lions is here as well. Do Bodo Glimt center mid mode on FIFA? JM42 says. Lumen says, I never had a girlfriend in the first place, so no question of comebacks for me. Well, that's all right. Listen, they're a lot of trouble. No offense to the females, but they could be quite troublesome. So you know what? Listen, it's good to have them, but also, more peace to you sometimes. Listen, I know a lot of friends. I don't have one right now, but, I got a couple of my friends, they got girls. They don't seem so happy. Not as happy as me. So listen, it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. There's lots of people out there that don't got nobody, so it's fine. It's not that big of a deal. Lucky Singh says Tottenham will beat us if we don't start right lineup. And my warnings to our players. Yeah, I mean, well, it's obviously a big part of the game. Score update. Manchester City have taken the lead against Bournemouth 1-0. But yeah, I mean that's a big part of the game, Lucky Singh. Obviously we got to get the right lineup. We got to get the tactics. Marmouche scored that goal, by the way. We got to get the tactics straight. We have some updates about players that are coming back or are back from injury, are included in the squad. Some big updates. So very, very good stuff. Very encouraging. I'm feeling a lot more positive today. Maybe it's not as major because Ruben has given us a tidbit. Maybe he's playing some mind games, so we're gonna get to that. Elias says, how good was the message vid from Evra? Sad for the passing of his sister. Oh, it was great, but what a message. Hopefully the squad has seen it. Well, I hope they do. I mean, the fact that it was a really good message. Condolences to Patrice Evra on his sister passing. I believe she was 56 years of age. She was battling cancer. I think he said for quite a long time now. And she's passed away. So condolences to Patrice Evra, Uncle Pat. We love him. He's definitely a character. And but that's the mentality. That's the old United mentality. He carries it with him. He's always carried it with him. He developed it at United, and he's going to take that with him for the rest of life. And I hope some of the players, I hope all of the players actually hear that message, and maybe they can take a piece of it with them into this final with them. So hopefully, Lucky Singh says, I'm warning fans. See it as an even game. No, I do 100%. Saying I've been saying this. I think both teams. I don't think neither one will necessarily dominate. I think it'll be an open match. And I think it's going to be, not an easy game for us. I don't, I've been saying this for weeks now. I don't think it'll be an easy game. I've been, prior, even when we were in the semis and we were in the quarters, I said, listen, I think we will beat every European team. I think Tottenham will be a problem for us, and it'll be hard. I still expect us to do it because we are united and we win trophies, even in our darkest hour. And we should very well go and do this thing. And I think we can do it. I just think we'll do it the hard way, which is the United way. We never make it easy for ourselves. It's always difficult. It's always difficult. Always. Winning the treble was difficult. Everything we do, basically, pretty much at our club, we never just blow away the competition. We do it. We do amazing things. We've done amazing things in the past. We do great things in the past. But we always do it like the difficult route, which probably makes it better, to be quite honest. So, Lions is in here as well. Lucky says Tottenham know how to play on counterattack. They have United's number. Well, there's a lot of back and forths about this. Tottenham have beaten us 3 times. What's the odds that they beat us 4 times? But you can look at it like, well, they already have your number 3 times, so why can't they go do it the 4th time? Tottenham don't win trophies. United win trophies. All these other, these teams that don't win trophies, like Crystal Palace, have won their first trophy. Newcastle have won their first trophy. Harry Kane's gotten a trophy. People are trying to say it's Tottenham's time. I think, that's all kind of a little bit outside noise. It's really just, it's a one-off match on the pitch. Whoever's the better team on that day, whoever executes better is the winner. And that's why we need to be at the utmost prepared to go and do that. I think they've beaten us 3 times, Sing. I don't think it's 4. Steph says, got to be careful in Europa matches, avoid sending off, and hopefully get Spurs down to 10 men. Romero prime candidate. Well, yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the things, I think, for Rasmus Højlund, because I expect him to start. Get under Romero's skin. Be a nuisance at the very least. Go fight with him, piss him off. Bruno is also sort of an agitator in that way. I think Garnacho could kind of be an agitator in that way as well. Try and pinpoint that. Try and get him on an early yellow. I think that would be good as well if you could try and do that. That might nullify him a bit, or it could lead to a red card later on in the game. So, Rajad is here as well. The chat is chatting. Please smash the like button on your way in, guys, please, because it helps the channel grow and it helps us get pushed out there. So I greatly appreciate it. Chat, keep chatting away. I'm going to come back to you, but I want to get back to these little updates that we got here. Little tidbit on Cunha. This came, we were talking about Cunha yesterday, but Cunha, Fabrizio gave us an update early today. I saw it as well after we got off. So, Fabrizio said that United are set to approach Wolves to proceed with the £62.5 million release clause payment in installments for Matheus Cunha. So, yeah, it looks like we're going to go ahead and do the installment thing with for Cunha with Wolves, which has been kind of the talk of the town, of course. And yeah, I mean, it makes sense. We get to pay less money per year if we can do it. If Wolves are willing to do it, there's no problem in doing it. It's actually better for us to do it in that manner, because if we pay it outright, it's still in sort of a 3-payment type of plan, the way it's set up, according to reports yesterday. So that means that we would pay an initial fee up front, the first part, and then 2 other parts in the next 2 seasons. But it comes out to about 20 something million in the next 3 years. Where if we sign him to a 5-year contract and we do the installment thing, we're paying about 12.5 million for the next 5 years, which obviously suits us better because of our financial sort of difficulties. And we still don't know about the Europa, like winning the Europa League, so we don't really have that in our pocket yet. if we do go and win it, then obviously things can stand to change, and we'll be probably in a better situation. We actually have an update about that as well. So but I just wanted to mention that. But there was nothing really else about Cunha today. So we did get this update right before we went live that said Ineos genuinely believes that with a full preseason and squad reshuffle, Ruben Amorim will have the tools to bring success back to United, and that's coming from First Class. And I just got to say, I mean, yeah, that's kind of the belief and the thinking with many fans in the United fan base. And that's kind of been the arguments for the people that are still behind Ruben Amorim and backing Ruben Amorim. And we've been saying this for quite some time. And, to be fair, I think Ineos don't really have a choice. From an Ineos optic, from an Ineos standpoint, they need this to turn around. They need this to go well, because I mean, to sack Ten Hag and hire Amorim and have it gone the way it's gone is not a good look for them. And if they have to sack him and then replace him in less than a year, it's not a good look for them. So they need this to turn around as well. I mean, for the project, for everything, for the club, because we won't be able to find our feet, really, if we have to go in and change him again and get somebody else in. We're going to kind of have to start a little bit from the beginning once again. So they need this to go well. So, yeah, I think, I think they do genuinely believe that, but I think it's more like they're really hoping. Like many of us, they're really hoping as well. So, Lucky Singh says, my advice to manager for big game look, Amad Diallo, Bruno Fernandez, Dorgu, Ugarte, Casemiro, Diego Dalot, Harry Maguire, Lenny Yoro. Manager needs some strikers and robust midfield. Yeah, he needs players. He does need some players. And we'll get to Yokarez. I'm with the manager. He needs some strikers, put ball back in the net, and robust midfield. No, 100%. I mean, he needs probably quite numerous amounts of positions. We definitely 100%. I mean, regardless of Ruben Amorim, this is the whole point that I try to make. It's not. It's fine to say Ruben needs this, but like, go outside of the manager. This squad needs this. The club needs a striker. Like, it doesn't matter if this guy next to me here is here, or it's Nagelsmann, or it's, whoever you can name, Ancelotti, anybody in the world. It doesn't matter. They need the striker. They need a striker. Our team needs the striker. So, it is something that is a must, regardless of this guy or somebody else. I mean, it's just, there's no like beating around the bush. I mean, he needs this striker. He needs other players because he needs certain abilities and like characteristics to fit his squad, so they can play the game that he wants them to play. But regardless of what we play and how we play, we need a striker 100%. So Rajat says, who is reporting on this Yokarez update? I'm sorry it got late. Well, we didn't cover it yet. I left it late on purpose so that people don't miss it, and I left it. It's coming up real soon, so don't worry about it. And Lucky says, can't judge manager at the moment. He needs next season. Well, you can kind of judge him. I mean, he still makes calls and stuff like that, but the thing is, like, I'm not in the camp of writing him off. At this current moment in time, I think to say that you can't judge him is probably a step too far. I mean, you can judge him on certain things. I think on other things it's hard to judge him, but I think it's too early, it's too soon, and the timing was weird and improper. And we know this squad has difficulties anyway. We know this group of players isn't that good. So he needs more time. You know what I mean? He needs more time. And obviously this thinking is that, give him a proper preseason, a full preseason, let him shape the team better, let him get more training, let the players get more training, more in-depth training, reshuffle the squad, change some things around, get some players in, get some players out. And things should look better. Hopefully, I mean that is the belief, that is the thinking. It could still be bad, but we won't know until we get there. So we gotta go through it to find out, really. Um, but we had this little update on Turkey as well. Many people love Turkey. They want Turkey. I believe this is from some sort of Olympic Lyon source. It seems like it's a French source saying that Manchester United are among the English clubs interested in Ryan Cherki. That was really the only update we had. I mean, Cherki has announced that he's leaving. He's available for about 20 million or 25 million. Again, I think for me, his ability that he currently has, and for the price tag and his age, I think is a very good deal to do. I think it's sort of a very low risk deal. I don't see a problem with it. Whether people rate him or not and think he'll do good in the Prem or not, I think this is a deal that, like, watching him play, he has very good skill. He has very good ability. Will he be a hit at United in the Prem? Who knows? But I think the fact that his skill and ability and his age is available for that amount, I think it's a good deal to go and do. I mean, I don't see a problem with it. It's very low risk. If it doesn't work out, you either break even or you lose the smallest amount of money you possibly can. It's a big difference than, when you compare it to deals like Anthony or Sancho and, et cetera, et cetera. So I would like the club to maybe go and do this. Maybe they have some other players, in mind. I mean, Buemo is one that keeps popping up on the list as well. So maybe they have some other targets. Maybe they're ahead of him. Maybe they're all kind of just in a mix, and they'll make up their mind when they get to it. Because obviously the focus right now is Cunha and then the striker, and then from there they'll go backwards again. And there's a potential maybe to get another number 10. We'll have to see. Players like Sancho and Rashford leaving, and Anthony leaving, and maybe potentially Garnacho, because I think his future is still in the air. So we got to see what happens with that. And maybe Rasmus, maybe, but we're not sure. It's not a clear indication if the club are 100% looking to push him out the door. I mean, I think maybe at the current moment they're not against it, but I don't know if they've made a 100% decision to say Rasmus is 100% out the door. We don't want him anymore. That hasn't been clarified. That hasn't been made. That hasn't been made clear. So, Rajat says, Ange in, Ange out. All rival team Premier League fans like Arsenal and Man United and shake it all about. Rajat says, give him one more opportunity, and Jim Ratcliffe and Barada and Ineos management really need this summer right now. No, I mean, listen, Ineos, the management, the hierarchy, they have no choice. I mean, they sort of created this situation by making the mistake on Ten Hag. I mean, they owned up to it. They said it was a mistake. They said they shouldn't have given the extension. They sacked him. They bring in Amorim. They sort of created the situation. They have to do right by Amorim. Things have gone bad. I think maybe Amorim did feel really, really bad about it. I don't think he considered quitting, like that story that we got yesterday. I don't think he considered quitting a month and a half in. I think he was very upset. Obviously, I think he's still very upset, but I think he was very upset at the way things were going. But I think he just got reassurances from the top saying, hey, like, just do your best. We understand the circumstances. We fucked this one up. We're going to try our best to help you out. And they need to do that. This onus is on them. If Ruben fails, most of it goes on them. Because they need to get the players in for him. They need to reshape the squad. They need to build a better squad. And that's why people like Wilcox and Barada and, Vivel, and etc. are supposed to be at the club, because they're supposed to be working with the manager to build a strong, successful team. So this is their job, and it's coming up really soon. This is the last and final week for us for playing matches, and then it's 100% time to do transfer business. So um, Lucky Singh says Rashford, Rasmus, Hoyland are looking for at Atletico Bilbao in Italy. Man, Lutata is here. Rajat says, "Do I get I don't know what that I don't know what that says." Paul Okeme says, "Please bring Victor Osimhen to Manchester United." Well, I like Victor Osimhen too. I like Yokarez. I put it in the hierarchy of a listing of Yokarez, Osimhen, and then Delap. That's how I rank it. But for me, preferably, I would take Yokarez or Osimhen. I wouldn't be too upset with either one. Delap, I think he's a good guy, a good player, but I don't rate him like Osimhen or Delap or Yokarez. Sorry, I don't rate them. I don't rate him as much as that, and I'll be disappointed, and I'll feel less confident with just Delap. If they tell me they're getting Osimhen or they tell me they're getting Yokarez, I'll feel a lot more confident. I'll feel a lot more positive about it. So, Paul says Victor Osimhen will bring glory back to Manchester United, and also says glory, glory, Man United. Really love that song during Sir Alex Ferguson period at Manchester United. I mean, it's a great song. I love it too. Always have, always will. Even now, even during the bad times, I still love it. It feels a little bit weird to sing it, considering that we're not really engulfed in too much glory. But we have an opportunity to sing it tomorrow. If our players go and do the job, and our team goes and does the job that we expect them to, and get over the line, we can sing it tomorrow for the very least. So, Man Lutata says every manager coming to a club thinks he can become a hero, but either underestimates or ignores the toughness of the job. Well, 100%, because I always say this: football is and football people, they live in a bubble. And it's a different world. They live in a different world than us. We are outsiders, they are insiders. They look and pay attention to certain things. They get access and see things that we can't see, and we pay attention and look at things that they don't, because we're outsiders, so we only have a certain amount of information. So our points of views are totally different. I mean, us being United fans, we know the mess that the club is in. Somebody from that's not part of Manchester United, I mean, they might hear stories or whatever, but I mean, when you're a manager, when you're a player, when you're in that bubble, you're sort of taught to kind of ignore all that shit. So they don't really pay too much attention to it. So they think a lot of it is a lot of bullshit until they walk through the door. And then they realize, well, fuck, actually, a lot of that wasn't bullshit. Wasn't exaggeration. It wasn't fans being over like just crying about things and being purely emotional. Like there was some truth to that. So yeah, I think it happens quite a lot, because I think even for Ineos, I think they looked at it sort of from an outside perspective. They got a little bit of a glimpse of it because they had to when they were buying it, of the inside, but they got the full picture once they fully got the control and they were actually in, and then they realized this is actually much bigger of a mess than we actually thought. And I think every manager is the same. I think they're sort of outsiders to United. They see things, watching the television or watching matches back and looking at players and stuff like that. And they have certain ideas. Then when they walk into the club and they get behind the scenes and they get into training and they watch the matches and they watch the players train and they get to know the players, and they learn things about players' lifestyles off of the pitch. I think then they realize, well, actually, this is way more fucked than I originally thought it was. So, yeah, it does happen. But at this point, one man won't fix it alone. Like, I know Ferguson got all the accolades for it, and obviously because he had a big part and he was a genius, and he did monumental things. And I'm not taking anything away from him, but you know, Ferguson did have very good people at the club behind him as well. You know, not always, but there was still a good amount of people, whether it was, you know, in the academy or, um, you know, like the CEO at the time and stuff like that. I mean, there was people that were sort of on a similar level to him that helped him out behind the scenes that they probably usually get overlooked quite a bit. Um, because of what Ferguson achieved on the pitch. But I mean, that's what you need. That's what we need. I mean, it's not just one guy coming in. It's not Ruben. It's not Ten Hag. It's not one guy coming in. It's everybody else. You know, from the top to the bottom, the coaches, the training staff, the kit man, the CEO, the technical director, the director of football. Everybody's got to be doing the thing. So, Victor Osimhen proves it everywhere he plays, says Paul. I mean, no, I mean, listen, he's a top striker. So, Lucky Singh says, don't mind Yusafa Wisa or Brian Mwemo. Yeah, I mean, they're good players too. Mwemo has been linked with us for a little bit now. I think he's on the list, but I don't think we'll see anything concrete about that happening until we sign the 10 and the striker. I know we're in for a center midfielder as well, so I think after the 10 and the striker, then maybe we'll jump around a little bit. Maybe we'll go to a center mid. Maybe we'll you know, jump back to a 10. Maybe a couple players get sold and we'll be able to do some things like that. So yeah, we'll see. Lucky Singh says letting Anthony Santos Rashford go to new clubs. Well, they have to. Rasmus Højlund, they have to offer move Italian clubs. Well, Rasmus, I don't know about because he might stay and he might just be like become a backup. We still need two strikers at the end of the day. I will argue this till the day I die. I don't really care if Cunha can play as a 9. That's great if he can. That's added, but we shouldn't be shorting ourselves at striker just because we're going to get Cunha and he can play 9 and Xerxes can kind of do it too, maybe. You know, I don't really prefer Xerxes there. I like Xerxes better as a 10. I think he's good at a 10. We shouldn't short ourselves. We should have two strikers. I mean, if one gets injured, it's a big problem. You know, it's an issue. And we're down to 1 and, you know, maybe a half or something. We got to start reshuffling a lot. We need to have the strongest squad possible. So in my mind, I mean, one of the problems we have right now is that we pretty much only have Rasmus. Maybe if Xerxes wasn't injured, yeah, Xerxes would be playing, but, you know, we could also use Xerxes as a 10 in games. The big issue that I have right now is we only have Rasmus, and Rasmus obviously isn't playing good, so it's not good. Like, we do need two strikers. We need two strikers. It just makes it better for us all around. So, you know, if you can't buy two, because we are still limited with funds in one way or another, and we're still fighting debt and stuff like that. If you can't buy two, then you might just have to buy one and keep Rasmus as a second, and hopefully he has a better season. And then maybe, you know, if it's still not great enough, because it'll be his 3rd season, they evaluate that and they say, listen, he's been in 3 seasons. We paid this amount of money. It hasn't really been good. We got to look to move him on. Then you go ahead and do that. I won't have that much of a problem with it, to be quite honest. Dar Crow. A lot of new chatters today. I like it. Shout out to all you guys. Dar Crow says, what's the probability tomorrow that we will rely on Amorim's in-game management tactics or luck, whatever it may be, as so far it's why we are in the final? Well, I think it's a decently good question. Dar Crow also says, new to this channel, have liked and subscribed. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it very much. And welcome to the family and welcome to the Red Devil experience. We're welcome to have you here, and we're glad you're getting involved in the chat as well. Just to be fair, I do sometimes take a little bit to catch up with the chat, so I don't ignore anybody's stuff. But back to your question about the probability tomorrow. I think there's probably a good probability of that happening. I think it's a good chance. I can't put a percentage on it because it would just be me guessing, really. But the way I feel about it, the way our team plays and performs, again, I still feel like not enough of the players take enough responsibility on the pitch in terms of in-game management. They don't do it enough. They don't read the situations good enough. and I still argue too many times that Amorim kind of has to hold their hand and walk them through it in matches. I mean, it's one thing to set up in a game plan. For example, like we're probably going to try and play out of the back tomorrow. If Tottenham are pressing us excellent and we are struggling to play out of the back, the players on the pitch, I mean, the manager can tell them as well, but the players on the pitch, especially like the goalkeeper in the back line, they should be aware that we're playing in a dangerous position. We're not playing out of the back well. Let's, let's even mix it up a little bit. Let's go long 1 or 2 times. Stop going out of the back, but they don't do it until they go into halftime, and Amorim tells them, and then makes all these adjustments, and it kind of has to hold their hand and walk them through it. And that's one of our problems. The squad doesn't have enough, I guess, leaders on the pitch, really, or people that are aware of, making these. You have to make a call. I mean, you're a professional player. You're on the pitch. You're representing Manchester United. Sometimes it flies in the face of the game plan and what the manager wants. But, at the end of the day, if the manager has a problem with it, you say, listen, I felt like I needed to make a call on the pitch. We were getting pressed. These are my reasons why I did it. I understand it went against the game plan, but I felt like it would be better for the team. This is my reasons for it. I mean, Amorim might be pissed in the short term, but he'll probably respect you in the long term, because he'd be like, well, this is somebody that at least maybe I could rely on the pitch, because you know what? They're trying to help me out. They made a call, and they're not sort of a baby where they need their handheld throughout the match. And I feel like that's too much. It happens too often to us where, we have to rely on Amorim has to go talk to the squad at halftime and make numerous amounts of adjustments, because you can make the adjustments on the sideline, but it's kind of hard to really get the full message across when you're in a stadium filled with people screaming and you got one player on the other side of the pitch who could maybe barely hear you. I mean, it's not the same impact of when you're in the dressing room, everybody's together and they can hear you clearly and you could be a lot more clear and direct about things. So, Lucky says Manchester United needs new midfield. Well, yeah, I mean, we need a lot new everything. Get Garnacho's new haircut. It looks clean. It looks blondie. Well, yeah, I seen that. Well, hopefully, it does him some good. By the way, Lyle has dropped a link to the Discord. We have a Discord if you want the Discord. I'm gonna pin that to the channel right now. It'll be pinned to the top. So if you have a Discord and you want to join, it's a really good Discord. We just started it. We're just building it up, but it's really good. I mean, we got loads of channels in there. We're going to have match day stuff for tomorrow. We have good conversations in there as well. And yeah, and it's the best way to keep you stay up to date for when we go live and stuff like that. I announce when we're going live in there as well. And we keep you up to date with the transfers and stuff like that. So, but it's also just a good place to have a conversation when we're not live, and you guys get to chat amongst each other and make friends and make connections without me as well. I'm in there too, but I can't always be available. But you guys have good, I read through it sometimes, and you guys have good conversations back and forth in there. So it's growing and we're getting there. So Lyle has kept us updated. It's Manchester City 2-0 to Bournemouth. Bernardo Silva has scored a goal. Matata United. There's a lot of mutatas. I don't know what this wave is, but I kind of like it. But there's a lot of matatas. Man United matatas. Matata says you will start ignoring once you reach 10k subs. Well, listen, it's not ignoring. I mean, I can only keep up. I'm a human being. I ain't a robot. I can't, it's already kind of difficult to keep up when you guys are really, really chatting. You know what I mean? I try to be fair and I try to get everybody's comment for now, you know what I mean? But it's not really ignoring. But I get why they do it. I'm going to be real. Like, people that have 10, 20, 30, 40, a million. I mean, if they sat here and read the chat all day, they'd never get through it. And they'd probably end up like me, doing 4-hour shows. I like the hustle and I like the grind, but you know, I get why they do it. I get why they do it. You know, it's hard. It's hard to try and get to everybody's comment and stuff like that. So, you know, I try my best. I try my best. But let's go to the thing that everybody wants to talk about, which is Viktor Gyokeres. So we got this update. I'm not too sure on the sources, but I mean, this has been reported. I mean, this is just off of one of the aggregators I grabbed. I mean, it's been reported by a couple other different sources as well. You know, I don't know this source, but I trust this aggregator. They usually put out good stuff. So Manchester United apparently will now accelerate a move to sign Viktor Yokarez after completing a deal to sign Cunha. And then they followed up by saying United are the first European club to make a concrete move. So, you know, I said this yesterday. You know, they give you a story. They tell you it's Liam Delap is number one. They pull you left, and then they pull you right, and they tell you Yokarez. Again, I think we're looking at probably a couple options. Viktor Yokarez should definitely be an option. It's definitely one we should be looking to do. It's definitely one we should try and go and do. In my opinion, he is probably the number one target. He's probably the best candidate out there. Not only because, you know, he's a former player of Ruben Amorim, but I mean, his skill, his ability, his build. I mean, he's a strong player. He's very good on the turn. He's pretty quick for his size. He has an amazing shot. Clinical finisher. You know, he ticks all the boxes. He's played in the same system already that Ruben is trying to implement at United. He grew there. He developed even better there in that system and under Ruben Amorim. So for me, I mean, in my mind, he should be the number one target. The price is there. It's a good price for somebody like this. 100 million buyout clause. You're getting him for about 52 million. I don't see any arguments. I don't see any reasons why Manchester United shouldn't be going in for this. You know, if we lose him, we lose him. You know, there's only so much you could do on that aspect. But we should 100% be pursuing this. We should 100% be making bids or offers. And we should be trying to sign him. Now, obviously, there's that whole thing of that, you know, he wants to play Champions League football. And tomorrow's match is obviously a big indicator. If we're actually going to be in him, I think, you know, if we win, I think these stories will ramp up even more. I think if we lose, I think we'll probably get something like Viktor Yokarez is not considering joining Manchester United anymore. I think that's, you know, I think that's fairly easy to predict as it's going to come. There's also a couple of the plays. I mean, even Liam Delap is one that kind of been holding out to kind of see where teams stand and then make his decision. So we'll see how it goes. But for me, I mean, he is the ideal candidate for me. I think he will, regardless if he comes to us or not, I think he will excel in the Prem. I think he's perfect for the Prem. He's super physical. He still has speed. He can dribble. You know, he can hold players off. Very, very good. So I think Yokarez, I think, has to be our number one target. You know, a little other update that came, different source, said Yokarez speaks frequently about Manchester United per someone close to Coventry. You know, so I think he has, you know, I think he definitely does have some sort of an interest in Manchester United, but I think maybe it's not as much as like Cunha's love, because, you know, Yokarez is 26, about to be 27. I think he wants to play as many in the Champions League and stuff like that, and that's probably a bigger indicator. But I think he does, to even be considering United, considering that we're 16th in the Prem, and we're further away in terms of our project from like the ultimate glory than like, you know, Arsenal or maybe Chelsea or a Liverpool or something like that. He clearly obviously likes Manchester United to a certain degree. So I think we're there for it. I think it can happen. I think it should happen. Obviously, there's some indicating factors that we got. You know, let's take the first step. Let's go win the final tomorrow, and let's guarantee that we have the Champions League. That way, you know, we can't get hit with this sort of excuse that he doesn't want to come because of Champions League. Let's make it as tough of a race for Arsenal, because Arsenal are in for him too, and the Arsenal fans want him as well. Let's make it as tough as a race for them. Let's battle it out. and let's see if we could win it. Lyle has updated us on the scores, saying Manchester City 2-0 at halftime versus Bournemouth, and Crystal Palace are beating Wolves 2-1 at halftime. And I believe Wolves were up 1-0, and Crystal Palace quickly equalized, and then they've also gone up now. So thank you for that, Lyle. Appreciate the updates. But yeah, you know, Yokarez, for me, I mean, he's absolutely elite. And I mean, I think, you know, listen, he's a guy that he can score goals out of situations that are tough to score. Not a lot of space, maybe not the best chances. I mean, his clinical one-on-ones, he'll score you a goal, no problem. But in tight spaces in the box, 2 or 3 players around him, spins, turns players, uses his body weight, is able to put the ball in tight corners of the net, tight angles, and he can score these goals. And he has a fantastic goal scoring record. So for me, he's number 1 target for me. There's no I mean, I'm not one of these people, but yesterday, me and a couple of my friends, we were on Discord. We were in a chat, and we were looking at some highlights of different players. You know, we had 2 or 3 United fans in there. There was 1 Arsenal fan. They were talking about Buemo. You know, the Arsenal fan said, you guys should get Buemo. He's a good player. And I agreed. The other 2 were like, Buemo? And, you know, they didn't really rate him. So we are like, yo, go look up some highlights. They saw the highlights. They were like, actually, he looks like a good player. I was like, I mean, this is what we kind of need. He plays in the Prem. He's physical enough. He has the strength for it. He's actually quick, too, for his build. And he does both. He passes and he scores goals. You know, he has about 20-something, 24 GA this season in 42 appearances or something like that, in total in all competitions for Brentford this season. I mean, you know, he has some very good passes, very good crosses. These are the things, you know, we went on to go and watch a couple of the players. I told them, go. I said, I got to go see the Yokarez one. I got to see Yokarez's goals. The Discord was on fire. They were going absolutely crazy. I mean, you know, my Arsenal friend was saying Arsenal needs to sign him. He's coming to Arsenal. We got to get him. My United friends were like, no chance. He's coming to United. We need this at United. You know, I know that highlights are not the be all and end all, but yeah, I mean, like, you could just you could get a little bit of a glimpse into it. I mean, he's a fantastic striker. So hopefully we go do the job tomorrow and we put ourselves in a very good position. As of right now, according to these updates, we are the only ones make a concrete move as of yet. So not even Arsenal, and he's been linked to Arsenal last week. So apparently we're in pole position right now. So let's see what we get out of that, and maybe we'll get some more updates as we're live. But I want to get to this update as well. This goalkeeping has been, you know, a big topic in the United fan base and in this community. There's been some stories about Emi Martinez. I really like Emi Martinez. We got this sort of updates surrounding the goalkeeper position. And it goes like this. And it says, any move for Emi Martinez would rely on United managing to offload Onana, with the club prioritizing other positions. But at the same time, Manchester United have held talks with Emi Martinez's entourage, but no offers as of today. So we did a little bit of an inquiry, I guess. Again, nothing wrong with that. It doesn't mean that he's 100% going, but these are things that Manchester United should be doing. We should be planning as much as possible. We should have as many options as possible so that, you know, we can navigate through different circumstances and stuff like that and not kind of just be screwed or be there of a lack of options. I mean, you want to be, you know, under preparing is the worst possible scenario. I mean, over preparing is good because, I mean, you have many options. The more options you have, the better. I mean, it's like, I guess, kind of like in real life. You know, if you have 5 options to be able to make money from, you can pick and choose whichever one is best for you. And that leads you to a better, well, most likely leads you to a better situation where you enjoy the work more and you're not facing struggling for money. Whereas if you have like one place to make money from, it's that one place or nothing. There's a lot more pressure on you. There's a lot more chance of maybe bad things sort of happening because you don't have really any other options. So it's not exactly the same, but it is similar. Like, the more homework we do, the more asking about, the more planning we have, the better for us. The better situations we'll find ourselves in, the better summer we can have. So we should be doing these sorts of things. Now, this update about the goalkeeper and Martinez really follows this. This just came out as we were going live, and this is from Time Sport. This is a credible, really credible source. More credible than the other two sources that were just up on the screen. But this follows in suit into exactly what I've been saying for weeks now. And it's just because what I see and the feeling and the optics that I get from what's going on at the football club. And the Times has reported that Binder is likely to be sold to make way for another goalkeeper to rival Onana for the #1 jersey. I think this situation makes the most sense, and I think it's probably the most plausible at the current moment in time, because I think United are, again, like previously mentioned, I think they're prioritizing other positions: striker, 10, maybe a second 10, a midfielder, maybe some sort of a wing back. I think goalkeeper's sort of low. I mean, I think they would like to do it if they could, but if you're limited financially and budget-wise, then you have to prioritize certain things. And, we have many chat members that they prioritize goalkeeper as #1 over every other position. And, they're allowed to do that, but the club clearly has their own list of priorities and what they've identified. I align a little bit more with that. For me, again, I've always said, I know Onana isn't the greatest, and I would like to potentially, switch goalkeepers and get somebody else in, because Onana was bought by the previous regime. They've made many bad calls and many bad mistakes and many bad transfers. So it's highly plausible that he was another one. And it seems that way because he makes many mistakes. But I've been saying what we can really do, considering our situation, is that we can create something how kind of like Arteta did at Arsenal, where he did with Raya and I always forget his name, Ramsdale. With Ramsdale was #1. The Arsenal fans liked Ramsdale. They liked him for being a shot stopper. Arteta had a plan because he wanted a ball-playing sweeper, keeper, goalkeeper that can play with his feet. Ramsdale obviously can't do that. Raya can. You bring in Raya on loan with an option to buy him at the end of the loan to make it permanent, but they didn't have to spend if it didn't work out. So why take the risk? Bring him on loan, see how it goes. They did that. At first signs of trouble for Ramsdale, made a couple mistakes, 1 or 2 mistakes, straight out the team. Raya goes in. Raya wasn't necessarily that great, but, Arteta wanted this. He kind of forced it through. And now, all the Arsenal fans love Raya. They have a much better goalkeeper, and it plays right to their system. And United can do the same thing. I mean, the problem they have right now is Onana isn't great, but Binder is really no better. He might be slightly better at shot stopping than Onana, but if we're a team that's playing the way we play and we want to play out of the back, Binder can't be our goalkeeper. He has no feet. He can't kick the ball. He's not good enough in that aspect. So you can never put him as #1. He doesn't fit what we need in that position. So what makes the most sense is, I mean, Binder probably wants to go. He wants to play first-team football. He doesn't like being on the bench. He was a first-team footballer before he came to United. He was the starting goalkeeper for Turkey. I mean, at the current moment, if he hasn't lost his spot, he'll lose his spot. And he's not going to get many opportunities. And he's not going to replace Onana permanently, no matter how bad Onana is. I mean, we've already seen that. Onana's made quite numerous amounts of errors. Binder comes in for a match or two, but he never takes the spot because he can't. So what the best thing for United is, if we can't, if nobody comes in for a good offer for Onana and we can't actually move him on and just get a replacement, I think this is probably what's going to happen, is that Binder will be sold because I think Binder wants to go, but I think also we're looking to sell him because he doesn't fit. And then we go and get a goalkeeper that's second that can actually really take United's Onana's spot. And then what you have next season is, sure, you have pressure on Onana, but you play for Manchester United. Manchester United, that shirt is heavy. It comes with lots of pressure. It comes with a lot of scrutiny. You need to be able to handle it. You need to be able to perform. If he can't, then you know what? You lose your spot. We got this other guy. We put him in, and hopefully he does well, and he takes the starting spot, and you move forward from there. And then maybe when you go into the next summer, you sell Onana, because Onana obviously isn't going to want to be second choice. So he'll want to go, and United will look to move him, and they'll get him out. And then maybe we'll go, maybe we'll promote another goal. Maybe we'll promote a goalkeeper. Maybe we'll go get a second goalkeeper, something like that. But I think this is what's going to happen. I think we're going to probably get somebody that's not too expensive, not too cheap, maybe around 15-20 million. And he's going to be a strong candidate starting. I don't think they'll start. I think Onana will start the season, and I think Onana will be the number one. But I think whoever comes in will be right behind Onana, kind of like creeping over his shoulder, saying, I'm here to take your spot if you fuck up. So we'll see how that goes. But I think that's probably the most likely thing at the current situation about the goalkeeping situation. We had this little update about Wharton. I know lots of people love him, and they rate him very highly. Rob Dawson says that, there was interest in Wharton, but that some doubts about their ability to sign him after Palace qualified for the Europa League. Could be very well true. I mean, now that they're in the Europa League, they're going to be in Europe. Maybe he doesn't have to. I mean, obviously, they're getting paid for that, but he could stay at Crystal Palace, decent Premier League side. Better than us. I mean, they'll say, who are you to speak? But in general, decent Premier League side. They're playing quite good now with their new manager. And they're going to be in Europe. So, he might not necessarily even push to really leave. Maybe he'll just do another season and see how it goes, and play with Palace there. And Palace, getting extra money and being in the Europa League, and already being decently financially good, they're not in a need to really, yeah, sure. I mean, if somebody wants to pay 80 million, maybe they'll take it, but it's not really a push. They're not really desperate for money. So, it could be the case, but, I don't think as much as he would be an excellent player to get, I think he's probably too expensive for us for what they want, considering his age, and all the stuff that's being tacked on, because of his age, because of the potential ceiling, because he's a Premier League player. The tax is really up there. It's really up there. I think it's too high for us, to even do at the current moment in time. So, people, I guess they can dream. I don't want to kill nobody's dream, but he's one that I just don't think there's any real seriousness at this moment in time that it can actually materialize. I think this is most likely wishful thinking in one way or another. So, but we have these updates back to the Europa League. We'll switch to the Europa League, and a little bit of Tottenham and stuff like that. And we'll talk about, the match tomorrow. Let me just take a sip of some water. So there was this story. We talked about this in the past, that United stand to make 100 million, or get 100 million bonus if we win the Europa League. So, I mean, the stuff that was added to this story isn't really a positive. It's sort of a negative. But I don't know if it necessarily goes like this. I mean, this is coming from Mail Sport, so, it's a little bit washy, a little bit iffy, but I mean, it's not total it's not it's not total garbage, but, Manchester United can hit £100 million jackpot by beating Tottenham in the Europa League final, because that means that we'll get into Champions League and we'll get money for that. And we'll get money for, we'll get money for winning the Europa League. We'll get money for participating in the Champions League, and all that stuff, TV and stuff like that. So, but it goes on, and this is the new piece that has been tacked on. That's estimated to be worth at least 100 million, but United are on course to lose the same amount this financial year. After it emerged, the club will announce a whopping third quarter loss of 40 million pounds in the coming weeks. So again, we do have financial issues. Like, when I say that I don't believe that we're broke, I'm not dismissing that the club is actually in financial problems out there. We clearly have financial issues. We clearly have financial problems. We're clearly walking some sort of a very fine line. And I think that's why the cuts have come in and people are losing their jobs. I don't think they're not doing those things just to do those things. They're doing them because of the situation that we have with the money. And it's not necessarily maybe to the extent of that, like, everything has crashed in this season and that's it, it's over. But when you're dealing with finances and business, it's not just about this year or next year. It's about, they look far. 3 years time, 4 years time, 5 years time, 6 years time, 7 years time, 8, 9, 10. And the way we were going and the way things are, at some point, we really would run out of money completely. And we would really be in a bad situation to the point where we probably really wouldn't be able to buy anybody. I don't think we're there yet. I think we have money available. I mean, the thing that we're going to get Cunha before the season has ended, spending that sort of money already immediately right off the bat, I think is an indication that we do have funds and we do have money. I just think that a lot of this is about reshaping pretty much stop the bleeding at United and reshaping the financials and resetting the trajectory of the financials, because the trajectory of the financials is going down. They're trying to, at the very least, sort of level it out and then obviously try and get it to go back up. So in the immediate future, which is now in this summer, I think we can still spend money. We'll have money to spend. We're not broke. Like, they say broke. Like, are we going to go spend 300 million? No. But like, we have money to be able to spend. If we're spending, if we didn't have money, we wouldn't be able to spend 62.5 million on Cunha and then go do 3 or 4 other deals that we obviously need to do. So I don't know how accurate I don't know how accurate this part, the bottom part, plays into that we're going to get 100 million. But, we're going to report a 40 million loss and it's going to get sort of negated because we're estimated to lose that same amount in this current financial year. I mean, if anything, it still helps the situation, because if United didn't get the 100 million and we lose 100 million, I mean, we would be negative 100 million. At the very least, we break even, which is better than being negative 100 million. So, it might not be like 100 million in our pocket. Let's go and buy, somebody for 75 million now. But it still helps the situation one way or another, because being even is better than being minus 100 million. So, I mean, we'll see. But there was sort of this story that went into the debt as well. And that said that Manchester United's total debt, including around 300 million owning on transfers, is now in excess of 1 billion. And I know people look at that and kind of say that's quite a lot. And I'm not talking about the 1 billion. I'm talking about the 300 million owning on transfers. But like, that's sort of kind of normal. I mean, the abnormal, the fucked up part that we have at our club is obviously the other 700 million, because that shouldn't be there. And that's obviously there because of the Glazers and what they've done. But like, if we didn't have the other 700 million and they were just like, United owes 300 million in transfers, I mean, that's normal, because everybody does the deals where they pay them over a period of time. So every club has some sort of debt in transfers in that manner, to a certain extent. To a certain extent, they have it. So it's that part's not the big deal. The big deal is the other 700 million That's or plus 700 million. That's access. That's going into a billion or over a billion, and a billion is, I mean, that's fucking crazy. So they go on to say that although the club is set to generate up to 160 million this year from day-to-day activities, that means like, ticket prices, match tickets, merchandise, and shit like that. It means that there will still be a 6th consecutive year of losses, which equals 450 million pounds. So over the last 6 years, Manchester United have lost 450 million pounds. This is why, again, I keep saying these things. I know the things that Ineos and Sir Jim Ratcliffe making these cuts and sacking these people and being cheap and not spending this money. I know it's not nice. I know it's not what we want. I know it's not. It's actually sort of embarrassing, and it's very ununited. But at the same time, if you're losing 450 million pounds over the last 6 years in a row, we clearly have to do something to fix it. So, you can't cry that necessarily about the debt and want something to be done about it, and then cry that they're making cuts and they're firing people. Under what we have at the current moment, it's the best probably solution we got, because the Glazers ain't gonna leave. They don't want to leave, and what we have now is nobody else is going to come save us. I mean, the only thing that's going to work is whatever Sir Jim is doing, hopefully. That's the best shot, the best option we got right now. So, Lyle says, honestly, I don't think there would be any reports if our debt was sitting at 300 million based on transfer fees, but because we have the rest, then it's news. 100%, because, I mean, the 300 million is normal. I mean, I'm sure if you go into the finances of the clubs, they owe money. I mean, maybe it's not 300 million. Maybe the 300 million is still sort of high because we like to overpay for players. I mean, somebody like Anthony, we're obviously, Sir Jim's famous line that we're going to pay 82 million for players that we already have. So maybe it's probably higher than maybe it should be, because we've done stupid deals and overpaying for players like 80 million and have not gotten a proper return in terms of performance and stuff like that, Lyle. But I mean, there wouldn't really be a story in this. I mean, the story is because they can write a headline and say that United in excess of 1 billion in debt, and that's going to get you 5 million clicks. If you wrote United owe 300 million on transfers, everybody would be like, okay, cool. Like every other club, Liverpool or City, somebody owes 150 million, somebody owes 200 million. Like, it comes with the transfers. If you sign 4 or 5 players and you pay them all, and it's spread out over the next 5 years, then obviously you're gonna owe money. The problem is that we've overspent. I mean, players like Rasmus playing 72 million, Anthony 80 million or 90 million, whatever it was, Sancho 80 million. I'd like to think by now we paid off Maguire. I think we did. Casemiro was one that was recent, and all these other players that they're all factoring in there. So, Karina Mason says, where is the Yokarez news coming from all of a sudden? Well, I mean, it's not the strongest source. So, I mean, I will double check to get you the other sources, but this is what I found. I don't know this source. I'm going to be quite honest, but lots of people are going with it. Lots of people are reporting it. So, it's in the news one way or another. I will double check for other probably more credible sources. But yeah, I mean, those aren't, I mean, it's not, those sources, listen, it's not Laurie Whitwell, it's not Fabrizio Romano, it's not, from what I've seen so far. It's not like even Jamie Jackson or Ben Jacobs or something like that. I don't know who that source is, I'm going to be quite honest, but it's been reported, people are talking about it, it's out there. So, I will double check though soon because we're getting to the end of sort of the news cycle, and I'm gonna go back to the internet and double check to see if we got any updates, new updates. And I'll double check on if there's some other sources also reporting some stuff on Viktor Gyokeres that might be more credible as well. Shout out Karina. Yeah, Karina. I was making sure. Sometimes I'm a bit dyslexic, and I read something, and it's not what I was reading. So, Sagut Sagat Silwal says, "Are you dreaming, bruh? I don't know. What am I dreaming about? Can you be more specific?" And I'll let you know if I'm dreaming or not. I don't know. What am I dreaming about? You gotta let me know what I'm supposed to be supposedly dreaming about. But in the meantime, I was gonna shift gears a little bit. So we got this news. So delusional of Arsenal. I still don't know what you mean by that. So please be more specific. Yeah, Ruben Amorim, obviously, if you haven't heard, Lenny Yoro, Joshua Zirkzee, and Diego Dalot are with the squad. They are fit. They're going to be part of the squad tomorrow in the match. It was reported by a couple of sources prior to Amorim giving this statement that they seem to be fully fit and that there is a potential that they might start or play. But Amorim has come out and said they are limited in the minutes for the game, but they can help us. Now, maybe he's playing a bit of mind games. Maybe one or two of them actually do start, or maybe he's just telling 100% the truth. Maybe he's telling 100% the truth, and they are limited in minutes, which I kind of feel like there's a strong possibility because I mean, I think they kind of just made it. People like Dalot and Lenny. It's not like and Xerxes. It's not like they've been doing team training since like last week or something. They kind of just got to this point, so they probably are most likely limited in the minutes. But nonetheless, I mean, to have them available on the bench, even if they could give you 20, 30 minutes, it's still a big positive, and it's still a big help. And it could be a big factor. I mean, what if we put on Xerxes and he scores the go-ahead goal or a tying goal or something like that, with 20 minutes left in the match? What if, having Dalot and Lenny allows us to kind of reshuffle and it changes the dynamic of the game for the last 20, 25, 30 minutes of the match? And it has a big impact in that way. So, it's good that they're back. I'm happy. I feel a lot more positive and a lot more confident now. And I'm not putting it against it that maybe one of them don't actually start. I still feel like, he commented on their fitness, and he said that they have really good fitness and that they recover well. He said that as well. So he might be playing a little bit of mind games here. And I wouldn't put it past him if one or two of them actually, maybe they actually do start. I wouldn't. For me, I think Dalot probably has the best chance because I think Dalot has very good natural fitness, and he's usually one that doesn't really get injured, and so maybe he's recovered quite quick. He's on that Ronaldo diet, of course. He's on that CR7 diet, so maybe that has some benefits to it as well. So I feel like probably out of the three, Dalot probably has the best chance to start tomorrow. I think there's probably a good probability that maybe he actually can start and play the match. I don't know. It's difficult because it's hard to say if he would be able to play 90 minutes. Again, you don't want to risk these guys because, again, we want them for next season. We don't want them to get injured for long, miss the preseason, or potentially be out longer than that and miss the beginning of next season. We don't want that either. So while we need them for the final, and it's important to have these guys back, we also need to make sure that, they don't get re-injured, or they like with the same injury, or they get a new injury and they're out for a long period of time, because we obviously have one eye on next season as well. So we got a Gooner in the chat. Well, well, well. Well, well, well. Um, he didn't. I mean, I wish he explained further because I didn't really know. I didn't really know what he was trying to get on there. He asked me if I was dreaming, and then he said, so delusional of Arsenal. So I don't really know what that was supposed to mean, but I wish he clarified so we could talk it out, but it is what it is. And just to follow up on that, this is the traveling squad. Um, so Manchester United traveling squad to Bilbao, Binder Heaton, me, Onana, which I don't know why they didn't put Onana first. Weird. Amos Dorgu, Delo, Evans, Fredrickson, Heaven, Lindelof, Maguire, Maz, Shaw, Euro, Casemiro, Collier, Ericsson, Bruno, Menu, Mount, Ugarte, Ahmad, Garnacho, Hoyland, and Xerxes. So that's our traveling squad. That's going to be the squad that's going to be involved tomorrow. Delit, unfortunately, did not make it. He's not going to be part of the team tomorrow. He wasn't able to get back. Again, he was the one that I always felt like was the least likely to make it, because he seems to have slight injury problems here and there. He struggles with injuries a little bit more. Line says, oh, Evans to start. I don't think so. I think Evans will just be there, like on the bench. I don't think Evans will start. I think Evans is there for emergency reasons, and probably because like Delit's not there. I mean, Fredrickson is there as well. But yeah, I don't think Evans is gonna start. Has Evans even played a game since Amorim has come in? Like, I don't even think Evans has played once since Amorim has come. He played when Ten Hag was here. And actually, he did quite okay. He did quite good when he was playing. He was actually pretty reliable too, for the most part. But I think since Almarim came in, I don't think Maguire. I mean Maguire. I don't think Evans has played not even a single minute. I'm pretty sure, unless I forgot. But I mean, if he did, it must have been like once or something, because I can't remember. Lyle says I think Evans played 1 or 2 games. I think he played the Ipswich game. No, I can't remember him. I can't remember him playing. One, and it was his first bad game since he came back. Amorim's first game, but that was it. He kicked him out of the squad. Well, I think, to be fair, I think I was making fun of him there, but to be fair, I think Amorim probably did that because Johnny he's not staying at the club. There's no future in him, so there's no reason to really have him really be playing. I think it's actually counterintuitive if you're going to go, even if he does kind of perform decent or good, it doesn't really make sense. I mean, there's no future in him. You could use him as somebody just in case you need, but we have the other options like Fredrickson or Heaven. I mean, there's no future really in Lindelof either, but because he's leaving as well. But he'll play Lindelof. They were teammates, I guess. So Amorim's first game he played. But that was the only game he played. He didn't play after that. So yeah, I mean, he's there. Maybe we gotta use him. Maybe he'll use him. I think there's zero chance of him starting, but maybe there's a situation that calls for him to be involved in some way. So I'm not against anything. I keep saying the more the merrier. I don't care. Whoever comes back, be involved on the bench, start, whatever you need, whatever we could get. I'm checking to see if we got updates right now. So we have less than 24 hours to go. 22 and a half hours till the match. So we've officially hit that. Less than 24 hours till we're playing tomorrow. While I'm searching for news, by the way, I got 2 updates. One, obviously, I won't be doing a watch along for tomorrow because I'm gonna go watch the match with my father at his house. So Just keep in mind, people, that his house isn't far from me, but it will probably take 15-20 minutes after the match to just get the show set up. So, when I leave from there, come here, set up the show. I gotta I'll try and prepare a thumbnail, but just to set the whole thing up, it'll probably take. So we will 100% be going live, regardless of if we win or lose. I don't want people to think, if we do lose, I don't want people to think that I'm not going to do a show. Like we will be there, regardless, one way or another. So just keep that in mind, and be on the lookout, because we will be going live, for sure. And I have sort of a sad announcement. Not a sad announcement, but I guess sort of a disappointing announcement. I promised you guys the membership for today, but then I fucked up and I didn't realize that YouTube wants to review that shit for 24 hours. So it won't be available till apparently tomorrow. So it's not today, unfortunately. So I'm sorry. I apologize for that. I should have realized that. I didn't know that it takes a 24-hour review for the memberships. So for the emojis and the badges and all that other stuff that comes with it. So yeah, I submitted it to them. They sent me an email. They said it's under review. They said I'd get an email when the review has cleared. So I mean, there shouldn't be any problems with it because I don't think it defies any type of the YouTube guidelines. So it should be accepted. And then we'll have them for tomorrow. So yeah, sorry about that. That's my fault. I dropped the ball on that one. I messed that one up. I didn't realize that. I thought I just set it up and it's good to go because I'm a YouTube partner. So I thought it was something that you just integrate. I didn't realize that they needed to do a 24-hour review about it. So yeah, my bad. We do have actually some updates that we're gonna get into right now. So one of the updates coming from Time Sport is that the only players, and I'm sorry, I can't see the chat right now, so I'm not ignoring your comments. I'm just gonna do these updates. I'll jump back to the chat. One of the updates, another one from Time Sport, saying that the only players that are deemed irreplaceable are Bruno Fernandes, Amad Diallo, Lenny Yoro, and Harry Maguire. I mean, I find that list to be quite astonishing because I don't see how Kobe Mainoo can't be included in that. I can kind of understand Garnacho not being included in that, whether you feel like he should be or not. Different story, different argument, but I find that quite astonishing that, I mean, we are in the contract negotiations with Kobe Mainoo. We're looking to give him an extended contract, yet at the same time, he's not deemed irreplaceable, and he is a young talent. You know, I find that quite, I find that quite astonishing. I highly disagree with that. You know, and even Harry Maguire. I mean, listen, I have nothing against Maguire. I think he's been good. And stuff like that. I have no ill will towards Harry Maguire. I don't hate the guy at all. I don't see how he can be necessarily irreplaceable. You know, I agree with Lenny and Ahmad and pretty much Bruno as well, to a certain extent, I think. But for me, again, for Bruno, I mean, if somebody comes and offers you 150 million, is he really still irreplaceable? I think you would have to argue, well, but that's good money sitting on the table. So I find that actually I find that list quite astonishing. I mean, it's quite low in players. And that literally means that nobody is really safe. To a certain extent, it's not bad necessarily because, I mean, none of the actually, you know, I think none of the players should really be deemed irreplaceable because I think every player in the squad should fear their spot. I mean, kind of like Beckham said yesterday, you know, when he was saying that, and he said, even in my time, you know, it didn't matter what I did in the past. And it didn't matter how good I was at the time. You know, there was always the fear that like I could be sold or anybody could be sold. And I think that's probably how it should be. Um, Thinking about it a little bit more. And more so, especially because of the season we had. I mean, I think all of them should kind of fear their spot. But I think that there's sort of a list in a certain order that you would, you know, if you're going to start removing players, you obviously remove certain ones before other ones. So, yeah, I don't know. Where is that other update that I was reading? Where did it go? I lost it. So Ruben was asked a question. I don't know what the question was, but he gave the response and said that Bruno wants my job. He will be a very good coach. Um, Interesting. Interesting. Interesting stuff. I want to double check for Karina the Yokarez stuff. So let me see if I could do that real quick. Let me just type in his name, Viktor Gyokeres. Let's see what we got here. Well, L'Equipe has reported the same thing that we said before, that United accelerate for Viktor Yokarez signature. So yeah, that's L'Equipe. Apparently, oh, this is May 18th. Let me type in MUFC so we get just the United news. I want to see this source. So the source that we bring up before, his name is Loich Tanzi. He's so he's the journalist for L'Equipe. So it's a French outlet. So I mean, we should take it with a grain of salt, I guess, because I don't know why a French outlet is reporting these sorts of things when it's an English club, a Portuguese club. Nobody is French. Nobody has French connections. I mean, L'Equipe is all right. They're not like the worst thing in the world, but the connections sort of don't really make sense. But I still think that we're in there. You know, I think more so, obviously, we got to win the Europa League and be in Champions League, and I think we'll be heavily in there. So, because he hasn't made a decision yet, and it's not like, you know, Arsenal have put in the bid, and things are that advanced. So it's still very open. Karina says, thank you for checking for me. I really appreciate it. No problem. No problem, Karina. Thank you for being here and supporting the channel. So at least I could do. I'm always, I'm always happy to help in the best way I can. I wanted to, I wanted to do, I wanted to do it too, because I seen all the news and I was like, but is anybody else kind of reporting this? So some of the things were from the past, like May 17th, April 29th. But yeah, from today, it's really just L'Equipe. So, yesterday Talk Sport put one out saying United are set to rival Arsenal for Viktor Yokarez. Amorim is now pushing for the striker. I mean, it's quite clear Amorim wants him, and it's quite clear he's Amorim's number one target, and his ideal candidate. I mean, that's been made very clear since he's gotten here, and it's never gone away. So, our manager wants him. I'm in agreement with our manager. I think it makes the most sense, and I think he's the best option, and that's why it makes the most sense. So, by the way, there's a little bit of an update. So there's a guy, if you guys aren't in the Twitterverse, or the Xverse, there's a guy out there. His name is United Scout. He seems to have some sort of connections, inside information. Quite lots of people, big people, personalities, big accounts. They follow him. So he seems to be trustworthy. He seems to be one that has sort of good information. And when he puts things out, no one has really called him out for being a liar or being false or spreading lies or anything like that. He has just tweeted, or they have just tweeted, because it could be a woman. We don't really know. They have just tweeted saying, this is what they put out. They said, I'd say start Garnacho tomorrow. I thought he was giving us news. Never mind. He just gave us an opinion. I'm sorry. See, this is what I'm saying when I say dyslexic. I read that as I'd say Garnacho's gonna start tomorrow, but he's saying that I'd say start Garnacho tomorrow. So never mind. I'm an idiot. I thought he was giving us like a piece like Garnacho looks like he's gonna start tomorrow. Yeah, we don't really need his opinion. Johnny Evans has been injured. Karina Mason saying, is anyone going to Hotel Football Old Trafford for the game? I'm heading over from Ireland tomorrow. Well, enjoy that. Maybe you could find Steph. She's not. I don't think she's here, but I know. I don't know where Steph goes to watch the games, but she goes to. She has her pub that she goes to. I mean, that would be cool. I wish. I would love nothing more than to do that. But that sounds like a good time. And big up the Irish. I love the Irish. Irish are good people. I like the Irish people. I have a couple preferences. I like the Irish people. I like the Australians. They're good. They're good. They're good people. They're tough people. But I respect it. I like them for that. I do. I had a couple Irish friends growing up, American Irish, but you know their parents were from Ireland, Dublin. Always liked the Irish, like their spirit, like their attitude. Tough people, tough, tough guys. Well, not guys, but tough people. And I kind of like their. I like how they don't really hold back. The Australians are kind of like that too. You know, they use some choice words out there that I'm not going to repeat on YouTube or this channel, but they have some language there. I like it. I like that they're kind of, I like that they're kind of sort of just old. I like the culture, you know. Um, very well. Lions. Bruno didn't say that, but Amarim said that. Amarim said that that he wants Bruno's that Bruno wants his job. So very funny from Amarim. I don't know why he said that. I can't listen to it. I can't hear it, and it was a video. So I gotta watch it. So, but yeah, enjoy that, Karina. Enjoy that. That sounds fun. And South Africans, Eric. Well, I'm gonna be quite honest. I haven't met South Africans, so I can't really say that. I mean, like, I don't have besides you, but like, I don't really know what South Africans are like. To be quite honest. There's you and there's Elon Musk. So I mean, I like you guys. I like you and I like Elon very much. So I guess I like South Africans, but it's not the same as like I'm talking from like personal experience. Like I know Irish people, I know Australians. I'm friends with them. I've known a lot of them for like a good period of my life, 10 plus years or longer. So that's why I can say that sort of thing. But if you say South Africans too. I like you, Lyle. And I like Elon Musk. Those are the two South Africans I know. Besides Lyle and Elon Musk, I don't know any South Africans. But going off those two, I like them too. But I don't really know, like, the culture. Haven't really experienced it firsthand. People from there and like having sort of everyday interactions with them or like hanging out with them and stuff like that. So Karina says just drop the like and you now have a new sub. Thanks, Karina. I appreciate that very much. Thank you. And welcome as well. We look forward to you being around. The more the merrier. We're trying to get we have 2,960 now, it says as well. So we're 40 away, or maybe a little bit less, because that thing is dodgy. I coded it myself, but I'm not an expert coder. So I did the best. I mean, the very least, with the least amount of knowledge of coding that I have, the fact that I was able to get the emblem and get that whole thing and actually get it to update whenever it updates is actually quite good for my skill. So yeah, but yeah, shout out Karina. Shout out Karina. Um also, Karina, I don't know if you do, but we do have a Discord. And if you want to join that, we chat in there as well. The link is pinned at the top, and you just click that, and it'll bring you right in there. So, um, and you'll become a member of the Discord as well. And if you don't have Discord, then maybe get it. You know, if you don't want it or not comfortable with it, I mean, it's not that difficult to figure out how to use if you don't know how to use it. For anybody that doesn't know how to use it, um, you know, it's quite something. It's something you kind of just play around with. You pick it up. It's not the most complicated thing. Could be a little bit overwhelming in the beginning, but yeah, I think it's a good space. It's a good space. What I want to do is I want to compare some stats with Tottenham and United. So let me pull this up. By the way, to keep you guys updated on the score, Crystal Palace is winning 3-2 versus Wolves. It's the 82nd minute. Manchester City and Bournemouth is still 2-0, 84th minute. Manchester City have a red card and Bournemouth have a red card, so they're both playing with 10 men. Sounds quite crazy. I don't know what's actually going on there, but I want to pull up just a couple of these sort of stats here. So between Manchester United and Tottenham, since this is a Premier League game, we can kind of use Premier League statistics for this in any sort of way. So just in general, team streaks that each individual team is on, Manchester United have no clean sheets in 4 games, which is not good for us. Hopefully we find one tomorrow. Tottenham, in their last 4 or 5 out of the last 5 matches that they played, the goal scorer in I believe this is I believe this goes in the Premier League or something like that. Is under 2.5 goals, which means that the goal scoring has been quite low. So that's quite interesting. We don't have that streak, so it's kind of 50-50, I guess. 5 out of 7 matches that we've played recently, we have conceded first. That's also not a good statistic. So again, tomorrow, don't concede first. Don't concede a cheap early goal. Don't give away stupid goals. And let's try and get on the score sheet first to put ourselves in the best possible situation. We don't want to concede first. We have a habit of doing so. Clearly, from the statistics that it's showing, we have a habit of doing so, and we must do our utmost best to kind of get rid of these negative things. We need, don't concede. Try and get a clean sheet. Don't concede the first goal. But head to head, so United versus Tottenham. Tottenham have 3 wins. They have no losses in 6 against us. So it hasn't been a good time for us playing Spurs in recent times. They beat us the past 3 times, and the other 3 times they have not lost. So that means draws. We have no clean sheets in 6. So in the time that we played Spurs, the 3 times that they beat us and the other 3 times that we drew, we haven't kept a clean sheet in all of those matches. So that's not good either. So probably looking like Tottenham will score a goal at the very least in tomorrow's match, which is what I kind of expected anyway. I kind of expected that it's going to be a back and forth. I think both teams, hopefully we figure out how to score tomorrow. But it seems like both teams will probably get at least a goal apiece. And then it's really up for grabs there. Postecoglou. Now, of the 3 defeats, obviously, You know, Ten Hag was still in charge for one. So Postecoglou is 2-0 against Ruben Amorim. Amorim hasn't beaten Postecoglou. The last 10 matches head to head, Tottenham have won 4. We've tied 2. And United have won 4. So kind of still even there and split. They beat us 1-0 in February in the Prem when we were home. They beat us 4-3 in the EFL Cup, but we had that gaff, which was kind of BS. We ended, didn't really go well, but loss is a loss. And then in September, in September when Ten Hag was there, we lost 3-0 at Old Trafford. We had a red card as well. And then going back to last year in January of January 14-24, so last season we drew 2-2. We were home, and we played them in the beginning of last season in August. Was one of the first games. We lost 2-0. We were away. If you go back to 23, we tied them 2-2. They were home. The last time we had a win against Spurs was October 19th, 2022. We won 2-0 at home. That was the last time we beat Spurs. So we haven't actually beaten Spurs for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 matches. So yeah. Lila says, what is cool though? United has 14 goals in the last 4 UEL games. Yeah. And I hopefully that carries over. The problem is, what is it going to really be? What is it really going to be like? Because it's more so of a Premier League match. You know, Europe is a European competition because you play teams from France or Germany or Italy or Spain, and it's Europe, like playing against each other, and they have different styles and they have different, you know, this is a match where we are playing, it's basically a Premier League match. You know, it's not really a European game. It's 2 English teams that are from the same league that play each other already, you know, 2 to 3 to 4 times a season, and we're playing each other. So I mean, I hope that some of the, you know, records or statistics that we have in the European competition kind of flows over into this match, because it'll help us out. But the dynamic is certainly different, because we're not playing a Spanish team. We're not playing you know, a French team. We're not playing an Italian team. We're playing an English team. So it's kind of hard to be like, well, we've done very well in this competition, and we have 14 goals in the last 4 Europa League games, but we didn't play any English team in any of those matches. So I think the dynamics certainly change. But I still feel like when these sorts of things happen, right? I mean, Tottenham are on a streak against us. That streak's got to end at some point. And I kind of feel like it's more likely. You know, I'm not a master of probability here, but I feel like probability wise, it's probably more likely that the streak ends than the streak continues. I think for the streak to keep continuing is probably a lot harder than for it to actually end. I think it's probably more in favor of it ending, because it's kind of like somebody scoring, like, you know, a goal a game or something. It's more likely at some point, you know, if they scored 8 goals in 8 matches, well, for the 9th match, they have a higher chance of probably not scoring, because to go for the 9th match and score, you know, the probability was already quite high of doing so and something like that. So hopefully it goes back in our favor. United will concede first, but then we will get a bullocking from Amorim and win the game 3-1. Well, I hope Bilbao don't have any expensive TV screens in those lockers, because they will probably be all smashed to bits. Um, at some point, I assume he will absolutely destroy every single television that they have, if they have any. And if they don't have any, something else is breaking for sure. So, Rajat says Ange will win it 3-1. No, don't say that. Are you trying to do a reverse curse? If you are, I'll support it. But otherwise, don't do that. Line says Solanke for Spurs, then Fernandez, Maguire, and Ahmad for United. Well, I hope we break the curse. And I hope we don't concede first. I hope we actually score first. Maybe they tie it up. Well, actually, I don't know. Listen, our team is weird. You know, I can probably make like 3 arguments for a team. I'm like, well, it seems like maybe it would be better if we do concede first, because we somehow tend to pick it up after we concede. Maybe if we just concede like 15 minutes into the game, maybe it's just better for us. Because also at the same time, it's like I want us to not concede first, and I want us to actually score first. But then, like, I also get the feeling from the team like that might help. That might not be good for us, because we seem to then score and then we drop off and then we let the other team into the game and then we put in immense amounts of pressure on us. We don't know how to deal with it, and we don't know how to like unpressure ourselves, and then it just keeps building, and then we kind of just collapse, and we have like a good period of time where we just like collapse for 15-20 minutes, and then we sort of find ourselves again sometimes, and we kind of like level things out. But like, you know, I don't know. I don't know. Ange beat Man United 3 to 4 times. He did, but um he's beaten he's beaten Ruben Amorim twice. So the other times is from Ten Hag. So Lion says, but Eric, the last 2 teams we played, we were supposed to lose. Well, that I get. I mean, I didn't believe that, and I always said that I think we can beat any of them. Um, it's just that this is a bit different because they are English, and they're an English team. Again, I think for as bad as we've been in the Prem, we know the Prem is faster, and we know the Prem is stronger. It doesn't always mean that you come out on top, but I just think that sort of aspect allows us to play better than what we've been doing in the Prem, which is why we struggled in the Prem so much. And since Tottenham is a Prem team and we got to play them, we may struggle to meet the pace. We might have less time. But at the same time, it's also a final. And as we know, finals are finals. And, you know, all, to be quite fair, all this shit about, you know, Ange has won 3-4 times and he's beaten Amorim twice, all that shit kind of goes out the window, to be quite honest. I mean, you know, when we played City last year, it was a final. They had a better season than us. They were a better performing team. They were a stronger team than us. That shit all went out the window when we went to go play. We were the stronger team. We played way better than them, and we won the cup. So, they might have a better record against us, on a personal level in recent times. But at the same time, you could probably make an argument and be like, but it's a cup final, and all that shit goes out the window, and it's just about who really turns up that day. And all the other shit is kind of really irrelevant, and it doesn't really matter because it's a one-off game. It's 90 minutes, well, hopefully. And yeah, you know, it could really just go either way. So, City have conceded, but it's 3-1. So Bournemouth have just scored in the 90th minute. That I'm seeing here. 3-1. Palace have scored another goal, so it's 4-2. So and it's 90th minute as well. So Palace are going to beat Wolves 4-2. City are going to win and beat Bournemouth 3-1, which is unfortunate because how does the standings line up now? So the table is looking like obviously there's Liverpool, Arsenal. Liverpool obviously already won, and yeah, no, nobody's paying attention to them anymore. There's Arsenal, 37 points, and the matches are over, by the way. Arsenal, I said 37 points, 37 games, 71 points. Manchester City, 37 games, 68 points. They are now in third. Newcastle, fourth place, 66 points. Chelsea, fifth place, 66 points. Villa, sixth place, 66 points. And Forest, seventh place, 65 points. So, it all goes down to the last day. Really, I mean, you got 1, 2, 3 teams all on the same amount of points. And all those teams, Newcastle, Chelsea, and Villa, are 2 points off of Manchester City. So, I mean, if Newcastle, Chelsea, and Villa all win and City lose on the last day, then City will end up in Europa League. And that's the only way, really. So, they wouldn't end up in seventh because Forest doesn't have a high enough goal difference compared to City. So Forest can't. They can still move depending on what happens. If Newcastle, Chelsea, or Villa don't all win, and Forest do win, so it's gonna be a crazy last day. On the Premier League for positions 3, 3 through 7, pretty much. You know, so we'll see how that goes. That's going to be exciting. The Spurs as a Prem team doesn't factor in this game, in my opinion. It's a one-off game. Different atmosphere and different nerves. I think it plays a little bit. I think it does slightly because just in terms of the dynamic of play, like they should be able to play faster and they should be more physical side than Bilbao or Lyon or whoever else we had to play. They should be. I think that has a little bit of impact, but I think probably the bigger thing is, and I agree, is that it's one game and it's a final and it's a one-off, and also the atmosphere is different. That is correct. I mean, it's not like we're playing them in England, in Old Trafford or at Spurs Stadium. We're in Bilbao, so it's totally different. But I still think it does have a slight effect in terms of the aspect of the game, because if we were playing a non-Premier League team, I would probably say with 100% confidence, whoever it was, we'd probably be able to go and beat them 110%. But I think just solely because they are a Prem team, I expect it to be a more difficult match where the speed should be there, and we've struggled with that, and even the physicality. It's just a different sort of aspect, but I think it's more minor because of the things you said, Lions. I think the bigger fact is it's a one-off game. It's a different atmosphere. Different types of nerves and feelings and stuff like that. And it's for a final, so it's like different circumstances as well. So, Forest plays Chelsea on the last day, says Lyle. Oh, shit. Well, my ultimate goal is for Manchester City to end up in the Europa League. So, um, and why is it showing that Villa is in the Champions League? What is this? What is this app doing? What are you doing? I think it's I think it's glitching. It's glitching. So yeah, my ultimate goal, I would love nothing more. This is my ideal situation. I want nothing more than for us to go win the final tomorrow, end up in the Champions League, and Manchester City to end up in the Europa League. I would love nothing more. That would be a good ending to what has been a horrible season. I will be over the moon. I will literally throw a party on this channel. if City somehow manage to drop into sixth and end up in Europa League and we get into the Champions League. I will die crying laughing. That would be the funniest shit ever. I mean, we finished 16th. To finish 16th or 15th potentially in the Premier League and end up in the Champions League, and then have somebody like City win no trophies and then end up in the Europa League as well and not even in the Champions League would be the most hilarious thing to ever happen. I would love nothing more than for that to happen. So hopefully that does happen. I want to see who's got to play who. Let's check it out. Who's playing who? Who plays who? Bournemouth playing Leicester. We don't care about that. Fulham have to play City, and Fulham are home. Come on, Fulham. Do a job. Do a job. Do a job. We have to play Villa. Well, I'll tell you right now, people, I'm telling you, if we were a much bigger channel, somebody would clip me, and then I'd have all sorts of people sending me death threats or some shit. But if losing to Villa means that Manchester City get in the Europa League, then let's just throw the match. I'm all for it. If it helps City to get into the, if it guarantees City gets into Europa League, let's just throw the match. I mean, we've barely won any matches anyway. We're at the bottom, so we might as well just fucking, we might as well just lose another one if it means City getting in the Europa League. So, let's do that. Newcastle have to play Everton. Newcastle at home, so it would be probably a little bit of a difficult match, but I think Newcastle could probably get over the line there. And then Forest have to play Chelsea. And yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, so the Forest and Chelsea thing is kind of fucked though, isn't it? I mean, so really for City to end up in the Europa League spot, we need Chelsea to beat Forest because Forest can't jump City. Only Chelsea can jump City and push them down. So Chelsea have to beat Forest, Newcastle have to beat Everton, Villa has to beat us, and Fulham needs to beat Manchester City for this cycle to be completed. So I feel like that's not gonna happen, but I would love for it to happen. I would absolutely love for that to happen. And then I'd have to spend 17 days searching for a Manchester City fan. Because most of them are plastic and they don't exist. It's a bunch of mannequins. So I'd have to find them so I could at least banter one and tell them, ha ha ha, you're in Europa League, and then send them a picture of like like Rasmus holding the Champions League trophy or something like that, just to piss them off. Lion says, and we're still playing with the UEFA rules of contact, so that also might help us. I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm not thinking of it so much of like, I mean, it could. I'm not like gonna put against that. I'm just thinking about like in terms of like the speed of the match. I mean, I don't know who's the ref. I guess it depends who the ref is as well. But I'm thinking more of it when I say like Prem team. I'm thinking more of like speed. I guess they should be able to match the speed. The speed is quite a problem. I think it's why we've significantly struggled in the Premier League. Well, I think we struggled because of the speed and also the physicality, but I think at times the speed. I think one of the benefits that we have had in Europa League is, again, I think a lot of these teams like Atletico Bilbao or even Lyon and whoever else we played prior to that, they don't match the speed. Their style of play doesn't match the speed of the Premier League teams. It's benefited us because we don't know how to execute the play as efficiently as we need to be. So I think that's why when we play in Europa, we have better results because we have more time. We have more time on the ball. it probably evens us out because we're slower to figure out how to play, but they're also slower in playing as well. So it kind of makes it more balanced for us. Whereas when we play in the Prem, these teams are stronger and faster. We have less time on the ball. They're much better at pressing. We have less space, and it causes issues because we haven't been clicking enough in terms of play when we play the ball. We don't move it fast enough sometimes. We're not thinking fast enough. We do get out muscled a lot in a lot of matches in the Premier League. So Lion says we're beating Spurs 110%. I still think we'll win. I still think we're gonna win. I still back the team to go and win. I'm still saying that we're gonna go and do it. I just think that it's probably gonna be a pain in the ass. And it's probably gonna be a struggle. And it's probably gonna give somebody, probably me, or it's probably gonna give me anxiety and a heart attack. A minor one. Probably. Kind of feel like that's what's coming. I feel like my anxiety is gonna go through the roof, and I'm gonna be absolutely just going crazy. And I'm also going to watch with my father, so that's not gonna help either because if United are playing bad and United don't do good, my father gets quite angry, quite easily. So we have to deal with that too. So hopefully, for everybody's sake, for his sake and my sake and everybody else, hopefully United just actually play very good, and we get over the line. So, I'm just checking to see if we got any other news. By the way, Dalit is there with this, like, he's traveled with United, but he's not going to be involved. Like, he is in Bilbao, because me and Lyle were talking about that in the Discord. So, he is there. He's traveled, but he's not traveled, like he's not available. Like he's not going to play. He's not going to be on the bench. He's just there to support, which I fully expected. I mean, anybody that was out injured, I fully expected them to go with the team, and at least be there, like in the stands and stuff like that. So yeah, I kind of just figured that he was going to be there one way or another, and he is there. I mean, they did report that he is there. He's just not going to play because he couldn't make it back. In some other news that people probably have some choice reactions for, it is being reported 20 minutes ago, reportedly, that apparently Joe Glazer is in Bilbao for the final, and Sir Jim Ratcliffe is also expected to be in attendance tomorrow. So Joel is there. Joel always just showing up for the fucking cup finals. Where you been, Joel? Where you been, Joel? We haven't seen you all fucking year, Joel. Where you been? Now you show up? Now you show up, Joel? I mean, these guys are like, they're like the epitome of like, they're like the typical, like, you know those people that like, they say they're like a fan of like a sports team or like a sports, and like, but you know, they don't actually like watch it, but like they'll show up for like, you know, the final. It's like people over here when like somebody says like, they're like, yeah, I like the NFL. Like they're like, yeah, I'm a fan of the NFL for sure. And then like, they've never watched the game, but they show up for the fucking Super Bowl. And then they're like the loudest one, and they're the one screaming, and they're making like the most noise. And it's like, dude, where you been all season? You just showed up for the Super Bowl, and and you claim to be a fan. You didn't even attempt to try and watch a match. It's one thing if you can't, you know, but like you couldn't care less what happened, and you just showed up for the Super Bowl, and you claim to be a fan of the NFL. It's like, this is what these guys, like, where have you been all season? What have you been doing? You could, I mean, not even all season. I mean, what have you been doing for fucking 20 years? You barely show up, and then you just show up to these finals like, yeah, we support United. We're here. Here's our face. here we are. You know, we're showing. We love United. Yeah, because you fucking take all our money. Um, you know, it's to the point that I'm kind of surprised that they even actually do show up for these finals. They probably, I mean, they only really do it probably because it's optics. You know what I mean? For their shareholders or some shit. It's probably for money. Um, I'm reading. I just wanted to read the comments to see if we got somebody that put a funny comment under it. Um, See, somebody said always turns out bad when they're around. I mean, that's not true though. I mean, we don't like them, but I mean that's not true. They were at the FA Cup final. We won that shit. They were at the other finals that we won. They were there. So you know that's not true. Doesn't mean anything just because they're there. I mean, just more so the fact that they show up only for the final. Where the fuck have you been the entire season? I mean, at least Sir Jim and Omar and you know they've been to multiple matches throughout the season. They go. I mean, they were there last match and they were watching. They looked fucking miserable about it, and I mean I don't blame them because why would they take enjoyment in watching us not be good? But Lyle says it's going to be a vibe tomorrow night, people. Well, 100%. I mean the atmosphere is going to be great. We have a tifo that Bruno has accepted again. It's called the Surfer Tifo. I don't really know what that really entails, but I'm waiting to see it. He's approved it because apparently they've been running these things by Bruno, and Bruno has been, I guess, because he's the captain. So the fans run it by the captain. Bruno has been accepting all of these sorts of tifos, and he's accepted this one. So I'm looking forward to see this tifo. Hopefully, it's as grand as the other one because I think the last two have been great. So hopefully we have one to match. Final final level, pretty much. Not a tifo, a surfer banner. Oh, that's what that is. So it's just like one. It's like one of those big giant like banners that's gonna go into the crowd, and it's like it'll be moving like this, like people will move it and shit. It's like wavy. I guess that's why they call it a surfer banner. Yeah, that makes sense. I thought it was a tifo, but I kind of glazed over that. Um, when I read it, I was going through the news and I read something about Bruno accepting something about a surfer, and I just assumed that it was a tifo, but okay. Well, that's probably even better because you can make them bigger. I mean, the tifo, as much as I like the tifos, the tifo, they're kind of a little bit small. As much as I like both of them, I think they were both very good tifos. But I feel like we should have a fucking bigger one than that. So at least with this surfer banner, you can make them huge because it should span most of the one section at the very least. I don't know how I don't know how they're setting us up. I don't know if it's like I don't know how they're doing it. I mean, generally I guess they split the stadium in half. I don't know how they want to do it though. I don't know if it's like United one side, Spurs one side, or it's like whatever. It goes over the crowd, yeah. By the way, just on Alvaro, because Fabrizio Romano retweeted this, so but he put this out earlier in the day. He said, Alvaro wants to join Real Madrid, and his plan is not changed. No bid or club to club talks yet, but understand Real will approach Benfica after Taça de Portugal final to reach an agreement. Carreras has already agreed terms with Real, as reported. So, yeah, pretty much I think we'll start seeing the transfers really pick up for everybody and everything literally after this week. Sporting and Benfica have to play what is, I believe it's like their FA Cup. They got to play that final against each other. That's happening this weekend. Their league is over. It ended. Sporting won the league, by the way. Still managed to do so. They still did a good job. They had 3 managers in this season, still won the league. Because they had Amarim. Amarim left. They bring in under 21's coach or something that was at the club. He got sacked after like 6 games or something because it really wasn't good and he had no expertise and they shouldn't have done it. Then they bring in somebody else who was actually more suited for the job and still kind of played in a similar fashion to Amarim, had a similar style. Came in, sort of leveled things out, and they ended up winning the league, I think, by 2 points or something like that. Benfica did a very good job to try and catch up to them. And they were very close, but it came down and Sporting got over the line. So now they have to play each other in what is their pretty much their FA Cup final, and yeah, that's happening this weekend. All the football pretty much ends, and I think once that happens, all the transfers are gonna start going. So I think we're gonna get busy. We're gonna get busy, and then I'm gonna be leaving as well. Um, like the last week of June. So kind of when it gets busy. Um, but I'm gonna come up with a plan for sure to do streams. It won't have this, obviously. It'll probably just be a wall, of some sort, somehow, some way. A limestone wall to some extent. Maybe I'll do them outside. Um, somewhere. I don't know. Wherever I can get good connection, I guess. Um, I hope that doesn't have too much impact on the channel because it could be quite, I guess, sort of messy. I mean, be doing it on a mobile phone, and yeah, I mean, I don't really know. So, um, but we're 100% going to do videos. It's not going to be like last year where I just like disappeared. We have to do videos. We have to keep the channel in motion. So we'll probably, I mean, I'll probably, to be fair, I'll probably mix up the content. We probably also, I mean, I can't tell you for sure because I don't know how things are gonna run over there, and I don't know the schedule. So I don't know how many times I'll be going live per week. I'll try for a minimum of at least 2 to 3 if I get the opportunity, depending on what's going on. I mean, in the beginning, when I get there, the first few days is gonna be quite hectic, so it might take like a week or something. Um, but I'm gonna try and maybe do like little segments where like I'll do like a 10-minute video on or a 5-minute video on people that we may be signing, potentially signing, we're linked to, and I'll upload those preloaded, and then maybe we'll mix in like a live or two to those as well. And we'll have like discussions. That way we could keep the channel going. I gotta figure out where I'm staying. I know where I'm staying, but I need to figure out in the place that I'm staying. I had a problem with the internet last year, and I need to see, or I need to make sure that that thing is working properly. Because if I can get it to work properly, I should have stable and good connection, which means that I shouldn't have a problem doing that sorts of things in there. So, um, you know, we'll see how that goes. So, Um, but other than that, I think we're done for today. It was a very good show. Lots of chat, lots of new people getting involved in the chat as well. Lots of new members, shout out to all the new chat members, shout out to the OGs, shout out to everybody supporting, shout out to everybody that hit like on the video. Massive help. I don't even know how many we got, but because I can't see because it didn't update. But let me see how many we got. We got 23 likes. We're smashing the likes lately, so that's great. That's fantastic. So we got 25 actually now. It says so 25 likes. That's awesome. That's amazing. And we're gaining up there in subscribers. So I want to get to 3,000 before I go on vacation. We have about a month. About a month and 3 days. So 4 weeks and a couple days. I think we can do it. I think we can get that. I think that's achievable at the way we're moving and the way things are going. So, and I think the transfer season is only going to help because people love the transfers. They love to go into shows and discuss transfers and stuff like that. And usually the views and the attention upticks when the transfer season starts. So, starting next week, probably we should start seeing more traffic, hopefully as well. So, yeah. Memberships, hopefully, if they accept this thing in 24-hour period, they should be available when we do the Red Devil recap tomorrow after the match. I won't be able to obviously do a watch along because I'm gonna go watch the match with my father. And yeah, we're gonna leave the link in the Discord for the Discord down below. Also, for anybody that's still watching and is still out there, go under the video when I end it and give us your score predictions for tomorrow. I want to see the score predictions. I want to see who gets it right. Maybe thinking about it, I don't know if I could do this. Can I offer a membership to somebody? If we get it. If somebody gets the correct score for tomorrow underneath in the predictions, underneath the video, I will give you one free 1 month membership if I can do that. I probably shouldn't promise things that I don't know if I could do, but if I can do it, I will do it. I'll give you 1 month. I'll give it to you for free right off the bat. If you can predict the exact score of the match and result tomorrow, if you drop it down in the comment, it's there for everybody to see, so we'll have all the proof. So go in there, give the score predictions, drop them underneath there, and I'll give you a 1 month membership right off the bat. You get the emojis, you get the badge next to your name, and you get some other exclusive perks that are coming. Shout outs, priority chat, and stuff like that. Not sure if you can select someone, but you can gift your channel with memberships. I think I can select. I'm pretty sure I can. So, I'm pretty sure I can. I want to say. I feel like I've seen other people do that. Lyle. I feel like I've seen somebody specifically. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm thinking Twitch. I don't know. But do it, and I'll try at the very least. And if I can't, then I can't, and that's not my fault. Blame YouTube. But if I can, hold on, let me just Google it real quick. How about that? How about I Google it real quick? Can I give somebody specifically specifically a membership to my channel, my YouTube channel? Well, apparently here it says you can gift the YouTube channel membership to a specific person. You can do this by purchasing a 1 month membership and then selecting the recipient in the live chat during the live stream or premiere. YouTube will then distribute the gift membership to the selected viewer. Yeah. So I think I could do it. Pretty sure I could do it. Yeah, if you do it as a gift, yes. But I think, for example, I mean, it's not live, so we can't necessarily do it. But there's a way to get around it. I mean, if I can't do it directly, I'll do it indirectly. And I'll get like my sibling to do it from their account and gift it to somebody or something like that. I'm pretty sure there's a way. So, yeah, score predictions underneath the video after I end it. If you get the correct score line, I will gift you 1 month membership for free. You don't have to pay. You get the 1 month membership. So get in the comments after I end it. But other than that, shout out to all the people that liked the video. Shout out to all our new members. Shout out to the subscribers. Shout out to the OGs. Thank you everybody for stopping by, chatting, getting involved. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for being there. Appreciate every single one of you. Maybe we'll talk a little bit later in the Discord. I'll drop the Discord link underneath the comments, under the video in the comment section as well for anybody that might want to join later on. And GGMU, let's go. Let's win this thing tomorrow. I wish everybody the best of luck for tomorrow. And I hope when we meet again tomorrow after the match, we are all celebrating together. So yeah, let's get it done. Let's get it done. Lyle says drop the link. Thank you, Lyle. Appreciate that. Sometimes I forget. I also need to go eat. I haven't eaten a thing today. I was painting a door. And I had to come do a live. I finished painting the door, but I had no time to eat anything. So yeah, I'm gonna go do that and I'm gonna go work out. So everybody take care, be good. We'll catch you later. Stay safe. And we'll see you all tomorrow after the match. Take care and be good.